Continue to listen the story of Samavati from the Bhāvanā commentary. One of the benefits of loving kindness is fire, poison, and weapons cannot hurt Mettā practitioner. Last week, we listened the father Magandi Brahmin offered his beautiful daughter Magandi to Lord Buddha. And the Brahmin Magandi said to Lord Buddha, "O Bhikkhu, I offer you my daughter to be your wife and to be looked after by you." Buddha, before replying to him as to whether he would accept the offer of the Brahmin's daughter Magandi or not, recounted his life story beginning from his great renunciation up to the time he settled down at the foot of a Japala Bodhi tree after his enlightenment. Then Buddha said to Magandi families, Desanatana arate raginja nahosi chando abimetuna same kimevidam mutta grisa bonam padabina sampusito na eje. That means, Magandi, no clinging sensual desire has occurred in me, even at the sight of the 3 daughters of Mara. Accordingly, there is nothing to say in the case of your so-called beautiful daughter Magandi, a worthless body full of loathsome filth, such as feces and urine. I'm not even inclined to touch her with my foot, Buddha said. After having heard the Buddha's words of preaching, both the parents of Magandi, becoming mindful and aware of the truth of the teaching, reached the stage of Anagami Phala and became Anagamis. However, these words made Magandi, the daughter, intolerable. She felt so bad and angry that she bore a grudge against the Buddha from that time onwards. Bearing in mind that Magandi was purposely put to disgrace, she plotted with wickedness to take revenge upon Buddha at one time or the other when she got married to a person of her own choice. Relating to this incident, it seems reasonable to raise a question as, doesn't Buddha know that Magandi would bear a grudge out of resentment? Yes, indeed. Buddha was well aware of it. And the Bhāvanā commentary explained that Buddha uttered these words of truth purposely knowing fully well that only by preaching in that manner her parents would attain Anagami Phala, and that the speech was delivered after due consideration of the benefits which would be derived by them as against the revenge which was sure to be hedged against him by Magandi. Having been liberated from Kamaraga, sensual desire, after becoming Nagamis, Magandi's parents put their daughter under the care and guardianship of her uncle Magandi, and then entered monkhood in the realms of Bodhisasana. Later, after continuous practice of their intense meditation, they became arahants. Sometime afterwards, Magandi's uncle offered his niece Magandi's hands to King Utena. King Utena made Magandi his chief queen. At that time, Gosaka, the rich man, had donated a monastery named Kositarama to the Buddha and disciple Sangha in Kosambi state. Kokuta, another millionaire, had also built a monastery and offered it in donation to the Buddha, while another millionaire, Pavarika, offered a monastery called Pavarikarama. Buddha, in response to the invitation of these 3 millionaires, proceeded to Kosambi state and resided in the 3 monasteries in turn. Lord Buddha also accepted and took the offer of meat generously given by these 3 donors and honored them with his presence at their respective homes. One day, Sumana, a flower seller, offered meat to the members of the Sangha led by the Buddha after she had obtained permission from the 3 millionaires. On that very day, a maid servant of the Queen Samavati by the name of Kojotara went out to buy flowers as usual. Sumana, the flower seller, told Kojotara, "Hey Kojotara, today I have earnestly requested the enlightened Buddha to accept and take the offer of meat at my residence. Kojotara, I invite you also to join me to hear the Buddha's sermon after the feeding of meat is over. You may buy flowers and take them away only after listening to the Buddha's sermon." Sumana, the flower seller, told to Kojotara. Kojotara accepted the invitation and then listening to the Anumodana Dhamma attentively along with Sumana. In the course of the sermon, Kojodara, through contemplation and noting on what has been heard, achieved Sotapati Megaphala and became a Sotapanna. And it said that usually Kojodara bought only 4 cash worths of flour out of 8 cash given to her from the king's coffers, keeping 4 cash for her own personal use. But on that particular day, since Kojodara had become a Sotapanna, she had totally no intention to steal others people's property. So she bought eight cash worth of flowers. Seeing the flowers much more than that had been usually found, Queen Samavari inquired, "O sister Kojodara, did the king give you double the amount of money that were ordinarily given to purchase the flowers, particularly today?" Samavari asked Kojodara. To this query, Kojodara replied, "No, madam, certainly not." And the queen asked, "Why then there are flowers about twice as many as were usually the case?" Samavati asked. Kojodara admitted, "Usually on previous occasion I pocketed 4 cash and only bought 4 cash worth of flowers. Today I had bought flowers to the full value of 8 cash." This was candid reply. By abstaining herself from daily lies of falsehood. This manner of reply deserves paying attention. Simply because in those ancient times, a queen has full and absolute powers to the extent of imposing a capital punishment on any person whom she disliked or considered guilty. The queen could possibly give orders to execute Kojodara for having committed theft of the money paid to buy flowers or for the offense of misappropriation. However, Kojodara has spoken the truth and nothing but the truth without fear of the consequences that might befall her. This noble and honest attitude in telling the truth is the courageous attributes of Sotapati Mega, the special Dharma. Further interrogation was made as to why she did not slice off half the amount of money given to her on that day. Kojodara replied that it was because she had gained the special Dharma, the awakening of the higher consciousness of the Dharma, after listening to the sermon delivered by the Buddha. Then Samavati reflected with her wise reflection of mind that to become purified in mind without any intention to steal was indeed marvelous. She imagined that this Dhamma must be really noble. These kinds of thoughts could only occur in the mind of a virtuous person. If the person is wicked and not virtuous, anger would have arisen in him or her, particularly in such a case like this, when it was known that the other had stolen or misappropriated the money given for the purpose of buying flowers. However, Queen Samavati, being a person with a virtuous mind, with a background profession, became delighted to find her maidservants Kojodara, cleansed of vice, and equipped with the noble special Dharma. A keen desire with the feeling of enthusiasm having pervaded Queen Samavati, she entreated Kojodara, "O my elder sister Kojodara, we also wish to hear and share the special Dharma which you said you have achieved. Kojodara, please explain to us." Queen Samavati entreated Kojodara. Kojodara in reply requested to let her take a bath to keep her body clean before she preached the spotlessly purified Dhamma. Kojodara was therefore permitted to bathe with scented water and wear a complete outfit of dress made of a very fine texture. Then Kojodara put on a piece of garment round her waist and wrapped herself up with another piece of cloth on the upper portion of her body, above the waist, letting a part of the garment rest upon one shoulder, while leaving the other shoulder bare. Later, Kojodara took her seat on the allotted place with the peculiar kinds of glittering fan called Chitra Bijani held in her hands. She called the 500 maids of honor group by group and gave them her preaching. While listening to the Dhamma preached by Kojodara with utmost concentration, they devoutly completed and noted with diligence. For having immersed themselves in Vipassana Dhamma, higher awakening consciousness had arisen in them that led to the attainment of Sotapattipala. So Samavati and all her maids of honor, totaling 500 in number, became Sotapannas. Thence, all of them, after paying homage to Kojodara, requested, "O sister, effective from today, please relinquish these lowly and mean duties of maid servant and assume the role of our mother and teacher. Then please be kind enough to visit the Lord Buddha daily and listen to the sermon delivered by the Enlightened One. Thereafter, please impart us the Dharma you have heard." They requested. So Kojodara went to pay obeisance to the Buddha every day and listen to his noble preaching. On her return, Kojodara recounted the Dharma with wonderful precision as had been heard and remembered by her. Having had her special perfection paramis, Kojodara remembered all that had been preached by the Buddha and could impart the preaching exactly in the same manner as were delivered by the Buddha, both in modulation of the voice, accents and tone. Even nowadays, some people could imitate the style of preaching done by the preacher in demeanor, mode of delivery, pitch and rhythm. This appears possible because of their paramitas. On the part of Kojodara, she had prayed for attainment of the special attribute in the past 100,000 kapas. That is why Kojodara later became an outstanding intellectual, well versed and fully accomplished in the Tipitaka, three baskets of the Buddhist scriptures. Sometime later, Kojodara was conferred upon by the Buddha the preeminent title of Edadeka, the foremost rank among the learned female disciples, bhikkhunis, unrivaled in the knowledge of the Dhamma and in possessing the ability to expound them. "500 maids of honor, led by Samavati, then requested Kojodara to find ways and means to enable them to worship the Buddha and the Sangha. It is pretty difficult for those residing in the king's palace to meet outsider. As such, Kojodara gave them advice to make small holes in the walls of the upper story of the palace building to enable them to see through these holes. When Buddha and members of the Sangha came walking along the road on their way to the residential mansion of the millionaires, of the donors. The donors living in the city invited Lord Buddha every day. So this advice, which was accepted and implemented, enabled the queen and her maids to peep through the small holes at the time when Buddha and his members of the disciple walked past. One day, when Magandi saw a chance, the small holes in the wall of the king's palace, she inquired why the wall had been so perforated with small holes. She inquired. Samavati and her maids did not know that Magandi had her grievance and grudge against the Buddha. So they told her that the Buddha was presently residing in the Kosambi, and that these were the holes through which they looked secretly to revere and worship the Buddha when he made his way along the road down below. When she got that information, it occurred to Magandi. Now the monk Gautama had come over to the city to stay. I will have to do what should be done. These women folks are those who revere the monk Gautama. I will also have to deal with them as may be considered proper. Imagining in this way, Queen Magandi made a slanderous talk to let the king know that Samavati and her followers were trying to win the love of outsiders and were bent upon coaxing them and would therefore sooner or later conspire to assassinate His Majesty, the king. However, the king did not believe a malicious gossip, though she had repeated as first stated 3 times in succession. So Magandi told the king, if your majesty does not believe that I have said, you may please visit the main building of the palace and see for yourself as to what is actually happening. So the king made his way to the main building and had a look around inside the palace. And the king found the small holes in the wall, and in making his inquiry why these were so perforated, And he came to know that these holes were meant to be peeped through to see the Buddha and to revere the Lord Buddha and his members of the disciple. So the king was unperturbed. Although the king caused these holes to be patched up and closed, he let new fan lights to be fixed up. These fan lights being much better than tiny holes, it gave delight to Samavati and her retinue. So failing in her attempt to disparage Samavati and maids of honor, now this time Queen Magandi put a cobra after its fangs had been taken inside the hollow space of the king's right hub and covered up that opening with a wreath of flowers. When time was due for the king to make his rounds to the chamber where Queen Samavati resided, after carrying out her plan, Magandi coaxed the king, saying that it was not advisable for His Majesty to visit Samavati because she had had her bad dreams which portended ill omens. Nevertheless, King Utena did not fail to call on Samavati at her private chamber. According to the program he had mapped out. So on that occasion, Magandi accompanied the king as if she was worried about his safety. After his arrival there, the king had his meals served by Samavati and the chambermaids, and later, placing his harp at the top of the golden couch, he lay down on it to take a rest. Meanwhile, Magandi loitered about the couch and secretly removed the wreath of flowers, which served as a cover to the hollow space in the hub. Then came the cobra, sliding out from inside the hub and remained on the sleeping couch, raising its venomous hood. Seeing the cobra, Magandi raised an alarm, seemingly in terror. She shouted, Dear Your Majesty, snake's coming. She uttered in this way, and she uttered at the same time obscene words, ugly words against the king and Samavati, and then continued to talk rudely. As this stupid king is ignoble, he refused to believe my words. These stupid and wicked bunch of maids also have no morality, and they all are dishonest. Is there anything that has so far been denied to you all by the king? I have had a horrible dream last night. Despite my warning not to visit the chamber of Samavati, Your Majesty had refused to listen to my sincere advice. Bhagandi said. Now the king, when faced with an imminent danger of death that could be brought about by the venomous snake, believed what Magandi had spoken ill of Samavati. Vehement anger had arisen in him, so he gave orders to shoot Samavati and her 500 maids with poisonous arrows and kill them on the spot. Samavati and her followers were then directed to sit in a row to take the punishment. As Samavati advised her maids, "Oh, my sister, at this critical moment we have nothing to rely upon except loving kindness, Mettā. You all may shower upon the king and Magandi your feeling of loving kindness wholeheartedly, spreading your Mettā evenly balanced on them. You may also prevent your anger from arising." So saying, Samavati sat in the forefront of all her maids of honor and started developing and radiating Mettā to the best of their ability. King Utena personally picked up the bow and arrow and shot directly at Queen Samavati. Now the arrow, which was shot from the bow instead of going straight to the target, Samavati, rebounded towards King Utena, as if it were about to pierce through his breast, and then dropped short in front of him on the surface. When it so happened, repentance immediately came upon the king. So he uttered, "Alas, the arrow which I had shot could have pierced even through a thick marble slab. And yet this arrow recoiled and came back directly to me, as if it were about to hit me. Even a lifeless thing like an arrow knows the gratitude and noble attributes of the Queen Samavati. How regretful it is that a human being like me has failed to appreciate her noble quality." So the king threw away his bow. Then he kneeled down before Samavati and respectfully begged of her to pardon him. He said, "Samoshami pamoshami sabamoshanti medisa Samavati mantayasu tunjami saranam bhava." King Utena said to Samavati, "O Samavati, I am very much bewildered and extremely perplexed. To me, regions in all directions are all in confusion with my thoughts, wandering, not knowing which is which. You may lend your help to me. You are my only refuge, and you may so become a person on whom I can rely upon and take refuge." The king begged of Samavati to pardon him. Therefore Samavati gave her reply, "O the great king, you shall not revere me as your refuge. I do regard the Lord Buddha. I revere the Lord Buddha as my refuge. The Buddha is fully enlightened and omniscient. The Buddha is supreme. That Buddha may be taken as a refuge and worshipped. May Your Majesty also become only my refuge." On hearing this reply, King Utena admitted, "Very well, Samavati. I pay my homage and deep respect to you and also have great reverence for the Buddha. I offer you anything you may wish to have," the king said. Afterwards, the king Utena made his way to the Lord Buddha and took refuge in the triple gem, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and he invited the Sangha led by the Buddha to his grand palace, and for 7 days continuously he gave charity on an immense scale. He also asked Samavati to mention her wish so as to enable him to fulfill her desire according to the promise already given. Thereupon, Samavati asked the king to permit her to offer alms meat to the Buddha and Sangha every day. Then King Utena personally went to the Lord Buddha and requested the omniscient as desired by his queen. Buddha, in response to the king's invitation, sent the Venerable Ananda together with 500 of his disciple monks. From that time onwards, Samavati and her maids of honor, 500 in numbers, had an opportunity to do charity, offer meals, pay homage to the Sangha, and then listen to the sermon daily. In this story of Samavati, the recoil of the arrow which King Utena had shot through anger was the beneficial result. or the influence of the virtue of loving kindness, Mettā Bhāvanā. It is one of the 11 advantages which signifies invulnerability from fire, poison, and weapons in the event of any unfortunate incident taking place at any time or emergency. This loving kindness should be fully developed with deep concentration. If it is so developed, no danger can befall a person. Even if there is no chance to escape from the danger, special merits can be obtained. So it is sure that benefits will be derived. So in this story, you also understand that Kojodara, Samavari, and 500 maids became Sotapanna. And it is said that when yogi practiced and when he or she became Sotapanna, Sotapati Mega enables him or her to become the possessor of 7 noble treasures. They are worldly treasures as well as Dhamma treasure. A person can possess worldly treasure, but they are not real treasures. Because worldly treasure can be useful only in one lifetime, but the noble treasure are those that are useful in both this life and in future lives. The first of the 7 noble treasures, as Sotapanna is said to possess, is Saddha, confidence of faith. The confidence of Sotapanna is unshakable. Sotapanna have unshakable faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and Sangha, and practice even if their lives are threatened by somebody approaching and saying, "I will kill you if you do not give up the Buddha." They would rather be killed than to give up the true Buddha, true Dhamma, true Sangha in the practice. As Sotapanna's confidence in the triple gem and the practice is extremely strong. Since it is so strong, he or she will turn only to the true Buddha as his or her teacher and will never change his faith. Even in his next rebirth, he or she will not go to another teacher. Sotapanna is said to be free from doing sick things, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, daily lies, taking intoxicant, and going to another teacher. So this unshakable faith and confidence in the true Buddha, true Dhamma, and true Sangha, and the practice is a real treasure. And also they know true Buddha have the 6 qualities. True Buddha is called worthy one, fully enlightened one, etc. True Dhamma is well expounded. It is to be realized by oneself. It gives immediate result, etc. And true Sangha means the Sangha has practiced the true way, practiced the straight way, practiced the way to Nirvana, etc. And the next treasure is Sila. The Sila of Sotapanna is very pure. As you know, their precepts are not broken in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end, or two or three consecutively, or in any other ways. The Sila of Sotapanna is totally pure and praised by the noble ones, Ariya Kanta. These kinds of treasure Sotapanna keep always. The Sila of ordinary person, Pudujana, those who have not yet reached enlightenment cannot be so pure. They may break precepts when they are confronted with different situations. But Sotapanna will never break any one of the 5 precepts. Even when their lives are threatened, they will not kill another person, etc. Another treasure is Hiri Uttapa, moral shame and moral fear, moral shame and moral fear to do wrong or evil actions. Moral fear of the consequences of wrongdoing. These two are important treasure, although unenlightened people also have these qualities. Those possessed by a Sotapanna are of a higher kind. Because of moral shame and moral fear, Sotapanna will not do anything wrong. It is shame and fear that keep people from wrongdoing. And so long as these qualities are kept in their mind, Sotapanna will do no wrong. However, once moral shame and moral fear disappear from the minds of people, anything can happen. These two treasures are called noble treasure because they belong to the noble person who can do no wrong. Another treasure is sutta, knowledge. Knowledge here means both knowledge through learning and knowledge through practice. Agama Sutta and Adhigama Sutta. Sotapanna possess both kinds of knowledge. In order to learn how to practice and become Sotapanna, they had to hear from the Buddha or other persons. That is how knowledge is possessed through learning, listening to talk or reading, and they are really rich in knowledge through practice. Having realized the truth and seen Nibbana by themselves, the knowledge of Sotapanna through practice is perfect. Both kinds of knowledge are possessed by Sotapanna, so are called noble treasures, Ariyadana. Another one is Jaga, giving or generosity. Sotapanna are said to be very generous. That is because they have eradicated certain mental defilements. According to the Visuddhimagga, they have eradicated avarice, the insatiable greed for riches. And in other commentary, it is said that Sotapanna also eradicate envy. So Asa and Michariya, they eradicate. So not being afflicted by asa and michiriya, envy and avarice, Sotapanna are very generous. They can offer uh, their requests to the people who have morality. Another one is pinya, wisdom. Among the 8 factors of the path, the first factor is samadhi, right understanding, pinya. With this pinya, a Sotapanna is able to eradicate the 3 factors altogether and also to abandon the power of certain mental defilements. Such wisdom or knowledge possessed by a Sotapanna is regarded as a real treasure. Wisdom or understanding is treasured because it cannot be stolen. It is your own and it is not common to anybody else. The best of treasure, it can eradicate the mental defilements totally. And eradication of mental defilements means eradication of suffering. So Ariyadana, noble treasure of Sotapanna, all these are possessed by Kojodara, Samavadi, and 500 mates. We have to stop our discourse for today by practicing Mettā Bhāvanā, loving kindness meditation, by practicing Vipassana meditation, by noting, rising, falling, sitting, touching, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, knowing, walking, stretching, etc., continuously and meticulously. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future. So,